man, I hope you got some stories this week because the internet here has been going in and out constantly over the past day.
I could hear a little buzzing. I turned the Wi-Fi off on my phone because I'm also installing Call of Duty on my Xbox right now.
He said this is the best time to do it.
I started like almost maybe an hour ago, almost like 45 minutes ago. I thought that was enough time. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, no. That's crazy.
It's 113 gigs and it's at 34 currently because I know the kids like to play it since they're coming over,
When are they? Oh, you said they're coming over at like noon, right?
Yeah, noon or 1. And so I was like, oh, I'll get the Xbox updated. And then, I already have Lego Star Wars on there. But I was like, oh, Colton's been talking a lot about playing Call of Duty with Gabe. Like he really likes the time that they play Call of Duty together. So I was like, I'll get it installed because the code you gave me, I downloaded it, but I put the code in on my Xbox on my computer and it wouldn't let me download it that way. So I just installed it on my Xbox.
Yeah, you can only do it there. Yeah.
I also moved my little ottoman underneath my desk over to by the couch. So we have like more seating and stuff. And the cat does not like it.
The little pink ottoman? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
The thing's tiny. Who's going to
There's children and I can sit there.
You can't sit there. You look like he's sitting in a preschool chair visiting somebody.
Or they could set their what is it called? The baby carrier thing, car seat thing babies have.
Yeah, babies in their car stroller seat.
Baby carrier. They might be able to put the baby carrier on there. So I was just like fixing up the house yesterday and today. And then
that cat's gonna be hiding all day.
Well, so before they come in, I'm planning on talking to the kids. Like, I know you want to see the cat because they've asked about the cat. I'm like, if you want to see the cat, you have to be quiet and you can't pick her up. You have to be gentle, give them some ground rules. And that way, if she does run away and hide, because she was run. When Caitlin came over the other day and Chipmunk was fine with her. She let her pet her and everything. So I'm like,
you said she had cats though. It's probably she just smelled like cats.
She does have cats, and they
just smell like fear. That's what they smell
and she's
like.
gentle.
Time to run.
So like with my mom comes in. My mom was like vaping up a storm and like being super loud, and the cat was not having it. But she was fine with Caitlin. So I'm like, if I can get the kids to come in with like a calm energy, even though we're doing fun things, like maybe they'll be okay. But just set them up with the expectation of, if you don't do this, the cat is going to run away and hide, and I'm not going to force her to come out.
Yeah, she's going to be under the couch or under the bed. Hopefully, she chooses the bed because under the couch is not safe.
But the kids will be so focused on spending time with me and baking, so I think we'll be fine.
Yeah, you would hope.
I don't have like a ton of stories. I guess we should introduce ourselves.
Oh man, you're ruining the whole thing.
I'll do the introduction.
You're supposed to do exciting and crazy, wacky things each week that the people want to hear about. Okay, we've talked about.
I've got things to talk about, but it's not exciting and wacky.
Oh man, this is why you're co-host, and that's crazy.
Fucking rude.
What is it?
Frankly, I'm just exhausted. This week was.
Hey, I'm not Frank.
Not great.
Don't be mixing up names now.
2023 is just kicking my ass right now.
Yeah, it's almost over. Don't worry about it. Man, it's almost, what have we been here for like 4 minutes, 5 minutes? I don't know. Mm-hmm. Still no intro. We're not great at that.
It's your turn for the intro.
My turn. Why do you make me do all the work all the time? Hold on, there's a cart outside. Did you hear that cart?
No.
I can hear it. It's rolling by. It's like they're trying to mimic thunder. Ready?
Oh, I can hear it a little bit now, yeah.
Did you?
It was like, ooh.
Yeah, it said ooh as it went by. It was impressed that I was up this early. It was
at 8:48.
What are you doing
so early. I think it's so funny.
Exactly.
Like my customers will come in sometimes and, well, hold on. This is Mindless Prattle.
I'm holding on.
I'm Ripley Shane, Prattle. And that is Jordan.
You just interrupt your own story. Like I didn't even do it. You interrupted your own.
Well, so sometimes so that's the introduction. Yay, welcome to the show.
Wow, that was the most like, I want to get this out of the way and move on.
I want to talk. Ever. They don't care about our introduction. Nobody gives a shit about the introduction of podcasts. They're like, okay, I know the podcast. I'm listening now. Like,
what if they're new? What if you're just like trying to get it out there for the first time?
If you're new, If you're new, this is Mindless Prattle. We're
If you're
chaotic.
new,
Deal
if you're
with
new,
it.
go find another podcast of ours. Go
No.
listen to another episode for the intro. This one doesn't have one. Sucks to suck.
But so basically, sometimes in the morning when I'm working, I used to work like as early as 4 or 4:30. Like when I was in Vegas, like we opened a lot earlier, so I worked at 4 or 4:30. Now it's like 5 or 5:30, but I still get up really early, go to work. I have customers who will come in and just like you said just now, like it'll be like 8 o'clock and they'll be like, "Oh God, you guys have to get up so early. Like I can't believe you're here right now." And I'm like, "Sir, if I wasn't here right now, like you couldn't have coffee. Like
Also,
who do
it's
you?"
8 a.m., sir.
Yeah, exactly. It's like we have customers who come in like the minute we open, and I can always tell when it's normal for them or not because sometimes I have customers come in and they look dead, and I'm like, "Early day for you?" And they're like, "Yeah."
I had people like that when I was working at what was it, Sportsman's Warehouse. Who were like, yeah, the store opens at 8, and they're like, but I just saw someone go in, and I was like, yeah, but see, they went in that door that says employees only. That's why they went in.
Yeah, that's why I always hated places like that wouldn't have like an employee only door. Like I worked at there's a place called Cafe Zupas in most of the like I think what are the coast West Coast? Like it's like mostly on the
Did
West
you
Coast.
just forget what East and West were?
Yeah, shut
like,
up. I
like,
do.
no,
I have
we
to think
used
about
to
it
live
every
in
time.
Boston. What are you talking?
No, so I have to think about it every time. So it's kind of like in the like West Coast, Midwest area, but it's only like in 7 or 8 states. Um, but we had like a door where you could push to get out. So like they would lock the door. But every day, my boss would unlock the door like an hour early so employees could get in, and then just leave it unlocked. And we would have customers walk in and stare, and we'd be like, "Sorry, we're not open for another hour." Instead of
For
just
an
letting
hour?
people in
That's
and locking the
crazy.
door behind them.
I don't know
Like,
why you would open that early.
and we
That's
didn't open, well,
ridiculous.
we didn't open until like 11 o'clock anyways. Like it was like a lunch place, so it was a super late opening and then they were open till like 7 or 8. But it was ridiculous. I always thought it was so weird. It made me feel so nervous having people just walk in and stare at me and I'd have to sit there and be like, I don't have anything. Yeah.
You're like, I have no food, so you should leave, sir.
And everything was like fresh prepared there. So it was like every day we got deliveries in, we put them away and we had to hand spin the lettuce, make the soups, all the stuff. And it was like organic. So we had to really spin that lettuce. Cause I remember there was one year
We had
there
to
was like,
really spin it, not
no,
just fake
listen,
spin it.
no, like there was one year where there was like a bug infestation in like the lettuce growing place. And like we
The
would like
lettuce growing place.
we would clean it as best we could, and we would still have customers be like, "I found a ladybug in my salad," and I would
Yeah,
joke
it's
around with my
called
coworkers and be
protein.
like, "Extra protein, upcharge," because they charge like $1 to add anything. Like they for salads, it would be like 4 little strawberries. I love the strawberry salad; it was my favorite. The dressing was so fucking good. But they would give you like 4 little strawberries on the salad, and if you wanted extra strawberries, another 4 little strawberry, like half, like slices of strawberry, not full strawberry, like half slices of strawberries, right? If you wanted more than those 4 little slices, you wanted another 4 slices. That was 50 cents. If you wanted,
Of
you get
strawberry? That's
it's strawberry.
ridiculous.
If you had
like one strawberry.
and then for like a protein, say like quinoa, chicken, or the tofu or whatever, like you got this like little tiny portion, and if you wanted to add another little tiny portion, it was $1.
I always forget that you say quinoa.
What do you say?
It's still funny every time to me.
What do you say?
I just say quinoa. But you say quinoa.
Quinoa.
Like there's an extra letter in there somewhere.
I don't hear the difference. God, people
Yeah,
say
I know.
people say that to me all the time. They're
Like,
like, "You say
oh,
this
wow.
instead of this," and I'm like, it's the
It's
same.
It's like when you say it, you're putting a W at the end between the last two vowels. It's like you're saying quinoa instead of just quinoa. See,
Quinoa.
see, you're putting a W in there. You're like quinoa.
Quinoa. That it?
I don't know. Listen.
Quinoa.
Quinoa.
Okay, I just say things and hope people don't shit on me.
Hey, whatever you're into, it's fun.
Not that. I was actually yesterday, I decided to make cold brew at home. It's been a little while since I used my little cold brewer thing.
Several months, you mean?
Well, and now that I've had all these beans I've been saving because I didn't have the grinder, but now that I have the grinder, I was like, oh, cool. So I have this Starbucks Reserve coffee it's Vietnam Delight, and I had a whole bean, haven't opened it, had it for a little while. I have another one that's Christmas Reserve, but I didn't want to try that one yet. So I made a cold brew of the Vietnam Delight, and I got some Cinnabon creamer yesterday. And I think it's gonna go really well with it. So I made that, and then I'm gonna give some to
Didn't
my
you
sister
have
later.
one of what creamer was it that you said you didn't like? Was it the Snickerdoodle one?
No, there was a Snickerdoodle one I didn't like when we first moved here because it was a different brand than I normally get, and it tasted like it had like a coconut undertaste.
I don't know. There was one that we recently had that
The
you
one
were
that we
like, "This is
recently did
terrible.
was
I don't
the
want it."
ginger. I think it was like gingerbread or
No,
something.
maybe that's what I was thinking
And
of.
it was supposed to
I don't
it
know.
was
It was
supposed to be like a
something
special
like that.
Christmas gingerbread flavor, but it didn't taste like gingerbread cookie like I thought. It was just ginger. It was like you
Well,
put a tiny bit in there, it was like
yeah.
straight up fucking
There's
ginger.
no bread in the ginger creamer, by the
Well,
way.
like there was like but there wasn't like a sweetness to it, you know? Like it was fine. I didn't hate it, but it wasn't enough to make me want to drink it every time, you know? It was like too much ginger. I wouldn't get it again, especially with how expensive creamer is. I tell you, when I bought that creamer, I was like pissed. I got the small one this time because normally I'm like, oh, I get the big jug because I go through it really quickly and like better price. No, the big jug used to be $5.49. The big jug is now $7.49, and the small jug is now $5.49. Inflation is like fucking insane. It is ridiculous right
have
now.
you have you looked at like other stores, or are you just going to the one store?
No, that's like at like 2, 3 stores, like the same brand. Because I would go to Target sometimes because sometimes it used to be cheaper at Target. I don't know if they just have like a deal
I
with this
don't
company or
believe that
something.
statement has ever been true about anything.
But now it's the same price as all the other places. Like everywhere's just increasing it. Did you see Taylor Swift got the price of
I
eggs down?
look the question, "Did you see Taylor Swift?" followed by anything when you talk to me is no, no, I did not.
So there was I can't remember. I don't know what
Do not
music awards
follow
it was
it.
because I didn't actually watch it. But there was some sort of award ceremony and Taylor Swift was there on the red carpet. And this actor or this comedian guy, he goes and asked her a question. He goes, "I'm told Swifties can do anything," and she was like, "Yeah, they can." Like I don't know if you've seen any articles about it or anything, but like sometimes like the whole Ticketmaster thing, like Taylor Swift fans are insane. Like they get shit
I'm
done.
sorry, are they called Swifties?
Yes, they're called
Like
Swifties.
like the dusting company, like Swiffer, like Swiffer
No,
Swifties,
like
like
Swifties, like her
yeah,
last name.
yeah. I'm just saying, like
Shut
Swift
up!
is her last name, but like
You're
the
making me do the
brand is
fucking like
Swiffer,
dinosaur arm thing.
Swiffer Swifties.
You know,
It's like their
but
new
so
brand of
let me
kitty
tell the
toys. Yeah,
story. So the guy's like, "Can you guys do something about the price of eggs?" And she was like, "Maybe, maybe." Like just joking around. They're like,
maybe.
the price of eggs
Okay.
went down after that aired.
Is that a result of her, or
I
did
don't know.
people just
I
stop
don't know
buying
if
it?
people just
Like
stopped
you,
buying
all
eggs. They're
right,
like
you
They're like
can't
Queen Taylor
start.
Swift said stop buying eggs. I don't know what why or
You
what
can't
happened,
start
but
the
it did
story.
happen.
You need to look into this. You can't start the story with Taylor Swift got the price of eggs down and then go with I think she did because she said something about eggs. Like that's not how that works.
I need to pick out an outfit for the concert. It's only 2 months away, and I still don't know what to wear.
Oh no, not 2 whole months. You'll never
I'm just
be
so
able to
excited.
go to
Jordan
a
doesn't like
store.
Taylor Swift that much, but I love her so
I just meant the
much.
timeline. I like if it was tomorrow, I could be like, yeah, you got to get some stuff done today. But you have 2 months to find an outfit.
I just want to look so cute, but I don't want to spend a ton of money.
Yeah, that does seem like a problem.
Yeah, so I make cold brew and grocery shopping. I hate it. Hate doing it. Um,
How do you hate grocery shopping? That you don't even have to talk to the food. You just pick it up if it looks good, and then you
I
walk
just
out.
it's too
Like
there's too
it's
many choices. There's too much to
not too
look
many
at. Like it's just a
choices. You're
lot.
not in any
It's just
hurry.
grocery stores are sensory hell, and like they have these
Yeah.
huge fluorescent lights. There's so many things. The store is so big, and then people are
This
there.
store is big. That's why you don't look at the whole store and go, "Wow, I wonder what 6 things I need out of this whole store." You know, you go to the bread aisle and you go, I wonder out of these like 4 breads, which one do I want?" And then you just pick one and move on. You're like,
And
"Oh
yesterday when I
no,
was
the
at the
whole
store,
store.
I was
Which
like
bread do I
crying the
get?"
whole time. Um, so I don't care. I told Jordan yesterday I found out that my like birth father is dying, so it's like a lot of emotions. Whatever, we don't have to talk about it. But I went to the store yesterday and I had been crying and like obviously crying, and like I felt so bad because I went to check out, I went to self checkout. I was like, I'm not talking to anybody, and the grocery store clerk, he looks at me and like he had started to say have a good day, and then he saw my face and he was like, "Oh, have a good day." You know, like I'd obviously been crying and I was like, "Yeah, thank you, you too." But I could just tell I made him feel so awkward. Like he was just like really like shocked when he saw my face, and I was like, "Sorry, dude. I went to self checkout for a reason. Like I didn't want to have to force my emotions on anybody right now. You know, I'm dealing with some shit."
Right. You're like, look, I'm here. That's always gets me too, is it's the self checkout there, especially, they watch a lot. And I'm like, look, I'm just paying for things. I don't need you here.
There
There
was
was
something I was gonna say, but I
the
forgot.
last time I was there, I was checking out and I walked up, I started checking out. There's a guy in the self checkout next to me. He's been there since I walked up. Like I don't know how long he's been there, but he was already there when I got there. And I started checking out, and I put in my phone number for the points or whatever it is. And the guy comes around because the worker there comes around because the guy next to me flags him down. The guy next to me is like, I can't figure this out. And the guy walks over and he goes, oh, you have to press here to start, because it just says press here to start or start scanning. And the guy just couldn't figure out where to
Oh
push
man.
on the screen. And I was like, your experience is about to go on for a long time. And I scanned all of my items and paid and was leaving. And the guy was like, no, you have to look for the barcode on the item and then put that on this little scanner plate thing. And this poor dude, who I don't know what was up with him, who's trying to check out, he's like, no, you just put it up on the conveyor belt and it gets scanned and then you pay. And the worker had to explain to the guy that he was in a self checkout, not like a regular checkout lane.
Oh boy.
And like, by the way, before you get like an idea of this guy, he was not like 90. Okay, he was like maybe 30. Like he
Oh
was a young dude,
yeah,
right?
I
You
was
were
definitely
picturing
picturing
some
like a
old
little
dude.
old hobbled over
No,
man.
he
But
was
even
like
like you know, it
30. And
surprises
I was
me
like,
how
all
many
right,
like
man.
really old guys are like tapping their phones using like technology, and they're like, yeah, this is so much easier. And then I have a lot of younger kids who are
Yeah,
like
it's like
18,
this
19 who
30-year-old
cannot figure
dude
out how
who
to work
just,
their fucking phone.
I don't know if he like just got cut off or and needed to go buy some groceries or what. He was only buying like two things, and it was like milk and something else. But like I just remember I was like, he's never used self checkout before or like understood how barcodes work.
You
Like I
know what?
don't.
Maybe his like
I was
wife
like,
or
okay,
something was
whatever.
sick, or like they just had a baby or something, and he's never had to go grocery shopping for himself, and it's like a
That was
whole
my
new
only
world.
conclusion, is that he's never been shopping before, because I was like, even if you, but like he said you put it on the conveyor belt and someone scans it, or someone tells you how much to pay. So like he's been to a grocery store before, just never
Mhm.
been the one paying attention
I
or
wonder if maybe he was a
caring. I don't
tourist. Like,
know.
I wonder if other states like don't have self checkouts, because I know like in some states you're not allowed to pump your own gas. So
I have no idea. I just thought it was very funny that this worker that was like, "Have a good day" to me, was just like over there trying to explain to him how barcode works and how self checkout works, and that you had to like scan it and put it in the bag. And I guarantee that guy was probably going to go, "Well, isn't that your job to put it in the bag?" Like he was so
he's not
lost. I was like,
wrong.
"All right, man."
Like, I mean, I love self checkout. I love not having to talk to people and like bagging things the way I want. And like, I'm faster than most people are at their job. So, like, frankly, it's just easier. But eh. I did have something I wanted to talk about though. Did you
Well,
internet?
this is the time to talk. Yeah.
So, I mentioned that podcast a while back, the Grim Curriculum, and they tweeted, I follow them on Twitter, and they tweeted this question, and they were like, what is the first scary movie you can remember giving you nightmares? And I thought that'd be interesting to talk about. I don't know if you watched a lot of scary movies growing up, or if like you can remember one giving you nightmares, but I was like, crap, I have so many answers that I couldn't fit it in like the tweet. So I just said like one thing, but then I was like, I wanna talk about this more.
Yeah, I mean, go for it. Like the growing up aspect, I did not want to be, I don't know, terrified growing up. So
Did you
no,
never
I
watch
wasn't
any?
like,
Or were you not allowed to? Or?
well, I was allowed to. They're just, why would I purposefully watch
God.
things that scare me as a child? Like, it
No,
doesn't
you
make
know
any sense.
what?
Why would I not watch things that entertain me?
I actually wonder why my mom let me, because like my mom's a huge horror buff, right? Like our whole family likes horror movies. My mom watches a million scary movies a year.
They're
Like
just like, life is too boring. I better watch these people get murdered.
she's gone to
Like, I
horror
don't know.
conventions. She might be in a horror movie. I don't know what the updates are on about that,
Oh
but
yeah, she said she was
she's
working on that, right?
yeah, she's like an evil hillbilly hot lady
And
role,
hot
and she was
hillbilly.
like perfect for me. I love it.
That's awesome.
So kind of like good for her. And I told her, I was like, if that works out for you, please give me some nepotism here.
Right.
But So there's so many movies, and the reason I say I don't know why she let me watch them is because I've told you I have really bad sleep problems. You sleep with me, you understand. But
Yeah, you kicked me in the spine. I remember.
so like I've had sleep issues since I was a kid, like
I
night
was gonna breeze
terrors,
over that one. Okay.
sleepwalking. I think I used to be worse. I feel like there was one summer where like you were like, I don't want to sleep in the same bed as you. So I think I've come a long way.
Well,
um,
if it was during the summer, it was probably just because I was too hot.
And I think, well, there was one summer where I remember I was just like I would you were telling me I was like thrashing in bed, like I was like punching you and shit in the face and like
Yeah,
crazy
that's
shit.
constant. That is not like
Still,
changed.
really,
I don't know what you're on about. Like
it's not better.
I get elbows in the like the back and my shoulder all the time.
I
And then
really
you're
should go
like,
back
"Wow,
on
I slept
medication.
okay." And I was like, "No, you did not."
I really should go back on medication. Like
You
there was
wake
one
up and
year,
you're happy, and I'm like, "Oh, did you win? Did you win the martial arts tournament? That's good."
I don't like being on medication, but there was one year where I was on like 5 different like antidepressants, anti-anxieties, but there was one that was like to help you sleep at night. Oh my god, I got the best sleep of my life in fucking years. Like I wouldn't even have dreams or nothing. I'd wake up and I'd be like, "Wow, is this what it's like to feel rested?" Miss that. Um, but it's no big deal. But so when I was a kid, like the
Oh
movie
no,
I mentioned,
real quick. So
yeah.
about because we're still talking about sleep. So
Mhm.
last night, actually, I was laying in bed as one does, and getting ready, go to sleep, get some nice relaxation, some recharge, a little battery up. And there's a knock on the door, and I was like, "Why is someone knocking at like 10:30 at night on the door?"
Yeah.
And I was like, It wasn't like a two or three knock, like someone that and you're just expecting like a couple knocks, like, "Hey, I just wanted to chat." No, it was like
Mhm.
five rapid knocks, and I was like, "What the hell is that?"
Oh, it's a demanding knock at
And
10 o'clock.
yeah, it was like kind of yeah. I was like, interesting. And no one said like room service or no one said anything. And I was like, interesting. Why is no one talking? Like
Mm.
if it's hotel staff, they usually say like maintenance or the room service or cleaning service or whatever
Yeah,
they
that's
say.
creepy. I don't like that.
And it was just five rapid knocks, and I was like, this is interesting. Better get the gun. And so then I was waiting there, like 2 minutes passed by, and there was another five rapid knocks, and I was like, all right,
I would be
what's going
shitting
on?
myself,
I
Jordan.
was
I would be
like,
shitting myself.
they didn't leave. What's happening? Why is someone trying to get me to go to the door right now? And I was like, I'm just gonna wait it out. And then like 10 minutes later, I hear footsteps walking away from the door, and I was like, all right, sounds like they're gone. Now I'll go look. So I went over to the door and I looked, and then I see the car. Somebody's just getting in a car and driving off, and I was like, well, guess I didn't get murdered tonight. Like they drove off. Back to bed.
Wrong room, I guess.
I have no idea. They were just I don't know why they like knocked and then waited like 5 minutes though, and then knocked again. I was like, I'm all right. What?
They're like, "Are you sure you're not the person I need?"
I was like, okay.
Um, but yeah, so the movie I mentioned to that tweet about, what scary movies give you nightmares was Darkness Falls. I think I made you watch it.
I have never watched that.
You haven't? It's
At least I
the
don't
opening
remember it.
scene still scares me. Like it's a movie I would watch today and be terrified again. It's basically it's like there's a town and there's a local legend about basically this tooth fairy. She was like an old witch woman. Kids would bring her their tooth if they lost them, and she would give them like a prize or something. But I can't remember the story. It's been so long since I've seen it, but
Just
it's
like the
like
local tooth fairy.
yeah, but so something happens, like some kids like fuck up and like kill her, burn her house down or some shit like that because she's a witch. And she comes back as an evil spirit. I could be getting some details mixed up. I'm actually gonna rewatch it. It's on Hulu. But um, the opening scene is like in the present day, like it was like 2005 or six or some shit like that. Like present day, early 2000s. And it's like this little kid and he's grown up with this legend and like everybody warns him, but the thing in the movie is like it's when the lights are completely out that she can get you when you're in darkness. Um and so this kid has lost his tooth and he's terrified. Like they don't put their teeth on anything, they don't want anything to happen. And so he goes to like the bathroom and all the lights in his hallway like start flicking out behind him. and then he's just like hiding in the tub with like a fucking flashlight, and all the lights are going out around him, and even it's still so creepy. It was such a great intro scene. And then like the witch spirit comes up, and then like he's saved. His mom shows up. He's like the only kid who ever survived this lady in his town. And then he becomes an adult. There's a kid and all this stuff, but it's a great creepy movie. But gave me fucking nightmares. I didn't like the dark as a kid. I still barely like the dark, you know. But sometime when I was around 12 or 13, a switch like flipped, and I could not sleep with night lights anymore. That's why we have a little light in our bathroom, because I can't sleep with light on anymore. But I'd say like the movies that gave me the most nightmares. Have you ever seen The Grudge?
You say you can't sleep with a light on?
I hate sleeping with lights on. I need like mostly darkness. I used to sleep with like the TV and music on and stuff.
Wait, didn't you just give me a description of a movie where you get attacked in the dark, and then you said I can only sleep in the dark? What are you on about?
I get creeped out by it sometimes, but I was like intensely afraid of the dark until I was like 12 or 13.
He said, yeah, I got nightmares from watching a movie about the darkness. Now I only sleep in the darkness. All right, Batman, calm down.
Well, you know, like when we first moved in together, you know, that night where I was like, shut the closet door, and you were like, why? And I was like, what if somebody's in there?
I just love messing with you with stuff like that. So every once in a while,
I get paranoid.
Every once in a while, I'll just look over at the closet being open and be like, who opened the closet? And you're like, I don't know. And I'm like, well, I didn't do it. And you didn't do it. So who's in there? And you're like, I don't know who's in there. And I'm like, well, you better go close it. Otherwise they're coming out.
No, it freaks me out. I don't like it. I've worked so hard to become like a moderately less nervous person, and just fuck with me.
Oh, speaking of this, your story reminded me. So I saw a tweet this morning, and it was someone going, it's crazy how they used to have, what were they? I was thinking a lot about the word talkies and how funny it sounded, you know, for like old,
like picture films and stuff.
Right. They're called talkies, and they go, it's weird because it's such a silly sounding word. But it made me really think about the word movies that we have now.
Movies.
Talkies and movies.
Yeah, I guess it's like, you know, words that that are in society for so long just become a part of your normal vocab. But then if you sit and think about it, you're like, wait a minute.
In the past, you're like, talkies just sounds weird. And you're like, yeah, but now we have movies, the same thing.
Talkies and movies.
Yeah.
Love that.
All right. So have you ever been like a reference for someone? Like if they're applying for a job or like like an investigate. Like
I write recommendation letters all the time, and I tell everybody I can be a reference for them if they want to get out of, you know, coffee company.
Right, but like, have you ever just been like randomly contacted and they're like, "Oh, you're so and so's reference," and you're like,
"Not for a job."
No idea.
I've had that happen with like people trying to get money out of people, and then they put me down as like a loan reference or something, even though I didn't give them permission, so I just ignore it.
Right. Well, like sometimes I don't know why, but like I get put down as like a character reference on a lot of stuff, you know,
I mean,
which I'm fine with doing, but fucking tell me first that you're gonna put me down as a reference, because I just get phone calls and they're like, "You're a reference for so and so." I'm like, "Am I? Like, why?" Anyway, it just annoys me.
No,
I'm like, I'm more inclined.
You should really ask people if you're going to list them as a reference, because what if that person doesn't actually like you or doesn't actually think you've done a good job?
That's the moral of the story is if you're going to list someone as a reference for you, like ask them first if they're comfortable doing it and if you actually know them well enough, right? So like it just really annoys me when I get emails and it's like, "Hey, you're a reference for so and so," and you're like, I didn't even know they put me down. I didn't know they were applying for this job. I don't know what's happening with this, you know. Anyway, so yesterday I got an email and it was like, "Hey, so and so listed you as their coworker for this, and they're applying for this position. We'd like you to take this questionnaire if you have time to take it." And I was like, I have no idea like what this is. So I did it this morning. I clicked on the link this morning to by the way, don't click on random links, but I'd verified.
Don't click on random links. That's a great lesson for you.
I clicked on it because I'd verified, you know, who it was from. It's from like the Department of Wildlife Services or something like that. But cool. I clicked on their link. And it took me to like a character reference questionnaire about this guy that I've known. And like question one was like, how long have you known this person? And I was like, 1 year. I met him last February. Like 1 year character reference. Here we go. You know? Like
Yeah.
so I put it down. I answered all the questions, but it just like I answered all the questions. I wasn't like mean or anything. He's a good guy. I like him, but I just annoys me when people are like, "You're a reference for this person." I'm like, they have never talked to me about this, and I'm inclined to give you a worse perception of them now. Like, you know,
Yeah, I love when people ask me to be a reference because even if they weren't a great employee, I will give you a glowing fucking review. Especially if, like, because of the job I come from is in like shitty customer service. I'm like, people will be like, I really need to get out. Like, I want to go to this job. Will you give me a reference? And even if I'm like, yeah, I didn't really like working with that person, I always give them a really good recommendation because I'm like, this job is soul sucking. And if I think you'd be
you're like,
really good at
you're
the
a
job you're
terrible
applying
person,
for,
but you're
well,
going
not like
away
that,
now.
but it's like if I think the job they're applying for would be better for them and I know their skills are suited for that job, then I'm like, yeah, I'll absolutely give you a great recommendation for that. Like I had one girl, I didn't like working with her. She didn't think I'd ever be the kind of person to say this, but she shared way too much of her personal life. And I'm an
She
oversharer.
Oh, like
Like I
of
will
her
tell anybody
personal life? Oh,
anything.
okay. I
But
thought you saying like she shared too much of your personal life, and I'm like,
no,
what?
she had very strong beliefs about things. And she would talk about anything, like in front of customers and stuff, like on the floor about like religion and politics and her very strong beliefs. But I think I've told you about her before. She had moved to Vegas from another state, had just gotten married, was like barely 19, married her boyfriend because he joined the military, and then they immediately moved and deployed to another state. So the girl was going through it. She was not the most stable. And she really wanted to make friends, but then she would just overshare and say really shitty things. But she asked me for a recommendation, and the new job she was doing was like something like within childcare and teaching. And I was like, I think she'd be great with that. She's really good with kids,
She's about
actually.
to go teach kids about the true religion is what she's about to do.
Yeah, there's some moments where I was like, you can't say things like that in front of people. like she was from a really conservative state, and I was like, that's fine, but you are living in Las Vegas now. You could get hit for the things you say, to the
You
wrong
get
person.
hit.
It
Oh,
reminds me of that story, like when we were like drinking, and we went to White Castle, and there was that cowboy there.
the cow. Oh yeah, yeah. There's always cowboys at White Castle. No, go ahead. You can tell it.
I think it's better when you tell it because I think
It's
I
too
maybe said
late. I'm telling you. You have to do it now.
okay. Well, so we were out for my friend's birthday. Um, and honestly, nobody was having a great time. It was with her shitty ex-boyfriend. He was kind of bringing the mood down.
As a side
Um,
note, we ditched them for like 2 hours because we were like, "This isn't fun," and we just left.
yeah, so they were going to go somewhere, but we had not eaten and everybody couldn't agree on a place to eat and all this shit kept happening. So we were like, we're going to go grab White Castle and we'll meet up with you later. We were already drunk by this point. We've been hanging out waiting for food. Like we had gone to this pizza place with everybody, but we just had like a drink and then we went over to White Castle to eat.
This is as a little caveat too. We weren't driving to these places.
We weren't driving. We were walking.
We were down on the strip.
We were on Fremont Street
yeah, it's
on the strip
it's a
in
street
Las
where
Vegas.
you
Like,
are allowed to be drunk.
for people who don't know, in Vegas, you can just drink out on the street. You walk around, you have a good time.
In certain
Even
parts of Vegas.
yeah, and like on Fremont Street specifically, they have like plastic cups at every entrance to every casino, so you can put your beverage in there and not walk around with like glass or anything. So it's a pretty good system. So we were, having a good time, drinking, tipsy, whatever. We're waiting in line for White Castle, and there's this man next to us, big cowboy looking motherfucker, like he was a brick wall looking dude, very tall. I'm a tiny person. I don't know what Jordan's perception might have been, but this man was huge to me. He is just complaining, right? Like there was a little bit of a long wait. Like there's always a wait at White Castle. If you go to White Castle, especially on the fucking Vegas area, you are going to be waiting for a little while. Like it's just popular. So we're waiting and we're being patient. We're standing there, whatever. And this guy is just fucking complaining, like almost like his voice just keeps rising. And he's definitely drunk, but his voice keeps rising. And he's like, "Why is it taking so long?" And like just being rude and saying shit. And I work in customer service, so I'm tipsy. So I start saying to Jordan, probably loudly because I can't control my volume ever, especially when I've been drinking. And I'm just like, why is he so upset? Like, why is he being rude to them? They don't deserve it. And Jordan is just like, shut up, like, babe, like, stop talking, please. Like, and I'm like, what? Like, it's not very
We're
nice.
just,
And
by the way, we're standing in line next to this man. It's not like he's across the restaurant
yeah, we're like
yelling. We're next to him. And she's
literally
like,
next to each
why is he being rude to these nice people making us food? And I'm like,
other.
why don't you be quiet and think about
And
it?
Jordan's just like, I think he finally turns to me. He's like, babe, I cannot fight this man. I need you to
No, no,
shut
no.
up.
I said, babe, if you get into an argument with him, you're going to have to fight him because I'm not fighting him for your beliefs right now.
Yeah, he was like, he's not very nice. Please ignore him. But, you know, the workers had already noticed he was being a dick. So that man literally was like the last person to get his food. And I think they actually ended up asking
It
him
was
to
very funny. Yeah.
like, he was at the counter, like, yelling at them, like, we got our food and whatever, and we're like walking out. And I just remember he like walked over the counter and was like getting angry and mad. And I think they had to get the manager involved, but we were like, we're gonna go and eat our food. You know?
Yeah, but you're just standing next to this dude who's like like taller than me. He was 6 foot something, and you're like, why is he just so rude to these people right now? This is before we even ordered. Like, I'm like, babe, you need to stop talking. Like, let's just wait for food.
Yeah, my dad said one thing that always worried him about me was that I'm not scared of like anything. Sometimes when I should be, like, he's like, you'll go toe to toe with grown men, and like it's scary. And like I think about it
You just
at,
won't win. You're like, yeah,
well,
but you were there with me, and I was like, I would not have helped in that. Like, you.
I mean, I've had moments
you
where
would not
like
have
at work
help.
specifically when there was like the masking mandate, there was like a 6'2" guy that I like was like almost like not nose to nose because I'm short as fuck, but we were like really fucking close together. And he was screaming at me in the Starbucks lobby in Las Vegas. And I just remember this man yelling at me. We're in a lobby, like surrounded by people, like it was super crazy busy. And I just remembered I was like, I'm not scared of this guy because I'm fucking 5'3" and look like a child. If this man beats me up right now, there's a million witnesses to be like, yeah, that man beat up a little girl, you know? But I
That
just looked at him
man
and I
is
was
a
like,
child.
yeah, you know, like and so I just he's yelling at me about the mask thing, and I think I just looked at him and I was like, sir, it is your choice. You can either wear a mask in here or you can go outside. You know, like I was like, I don't fucking I was so dead inside back then. Like COVID was not fun to work through. It was very hard and I had to deal with so much shit I shouldn't have. But I was just done. So I was just like staring up at him like, I don't care what you do, but you're going to wear a mask if you're in here. And he ended up putting a mask on because it is not a good look for a 6 foot man to be yelling at a
Because he was
child.
a drug addict and you had his drugs. All right, you can't argue with your dealer like that. It's just not how it works.
You're still gonna get your coffee. Just wear your mask for 2 fucking minutes inside the store. That was the thing that bothered me during COVID. It was like, I don't care what your
Like, if
opinion
you
was.
really don't want to, just like order it on your phone, wait outside, and then walk in with one on,
Yeah,
grab it, and
we
leave.
even
Like,
like
it's like 30 seconds. I
like
don't
we were
know.
like, we don't give a shit if you don't want to wear a mask, but you have to wear one if you were in here. And that was just like in the beginning when things were bad, when people still didn't know like how extreme bad it was. You know, it was a scary time. It was confusing. Nobody knew what was going on. So we were just doing the best we can. And people were not kind to us. And I think
You
like
say that like people are kind in general to you guys. It's just not happening.
people are better.
You just
I've
had
had some
another
really
reason.
nice customers this week.
People would be mad.
I helped this man. I don't know if he yesterday I helped this man out. I don't know if he had like diabetes or like a tremor disease, like ALS or MS or something like that. But this little old man, he was super sweet. He came up to the counter. He's like, I'm so sorry, but can you guys help me read the ingredients on these drinks? And I was like, absolutely, I'll help you. So I came over and he was telling me he was looking for something with like electrolytes in it, like a Gatorade or something. I was like, well, I don't think these have anything like that, but here's what these juices do have in them. And I, you know, I read all the list of ingredients off of all the juices. Um, and he just like he kept it makes me kind of sad to talk about because he just kept apologizing to me, you know, like like apologizing for not being able to read the thing and apologizing for his handshaking. And I was just like, no, sir, it's not a problem at all. Like it made me feel really bad that people have probably like not been patient with him and not willing to help him. And it's like, we're all going to be old one day. We're all like going to have issues or need help with things one day. And it just makes me sad that like nobody would stop and take the time to help him. He was just really appreciative and it made my day. I have a lot of good customers like that who are just kind and like
Yeah, see, but I
nice.
never hear about any of those until I'm like, man, all your customers are dicks. You're like, no, 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 no. Let me backtrack. There's some nice ones. I'm like,
There's just
yeah,
a
those are not the
lot of
ones that.
dicks. Like,
Yeah, but those are not the ones that you remember talking
well, and I
about
think part of the
first.
problem is I
Those are
also
the ones
my
that you don't
store
care
where
about.
I work is in a really wealthy area. Like it's a kind of wealthy. We have what's called Kids Rush, and people literally like these parents are literally like uploading their kids' Starbucks card with like 100, $200 a week and just telling them to go ham. You know, like it's a
Just
wealthy
go hang
area,
about.
so
Just go hang out at Starbucks. It's cheaper than child service. Like it's cheaper
no,
than
it's
daycare. See you later.
literally, and I think I told, so this little girl, like there was like an issue where this girl was being sexually harassed in our bathroom
Oh
by
yeah,
another
you were telling me
student.
about that.
We got it figured out. There's like been a police report filed. They're trespassing him from our store, so we don't even have to deal with it or anything. Like the officers helping us were really great, frankly. Um, but
Man, that
since
kid.
then,
You should tell the school too. Be like, hey, look,
no, yeah, the
this is
school's
the kid.
involved. But since that happened, there's been like these two dads every day sitting in my lobby with coffee, just chilling on their phones for a few hours during the kids rush, like every day. And
Well,
I'm like,
just to like
fucking
watch them.
finally, they think these kids need some supervision. Cause even like the dad who of the daughter who this happened to came and talked to my supervisor and was like asking about, you know, resources and stuff. And she was like, I'm gonna be frank with you. Or she said I keep saying the word frank today. I don't know why. She's gonna
I'm gonna
like
be frank with you. You're gonna be Ann with me. Together, we're good.
she was like, I'm gonna be honest, like, you know, none of these kids have supervision. Like we do the best we can, but there's 5 of us to handle all of our business flow. Like we're doing our job, we're making beverages, we're handling customers, you know. We don't have the time to sit there and monitor every single thing your children do. Like we are not babysitters. And these parents are just sending their kids over here with absolutely no adult supervision. And frankly, I've been waiting for something like this to happen. Like it is impossible. They're constantly fucking with shit in our bathrooms. Like these kids are vaping and smoking and like talking about their sex lives. And they're like fucking 12 and 13. It is insane. And they've needed some parental supervision for a while. And I'm frankly surprised their parents would let them go over there alone all the time. Like,
Yeah, that's kind of straight for like hours too. Like, go home. What are you
well, and
doing?
the school's like right across the street from us, and they basically like count it as like an extension of them. And I've made it very clear, no, we are not an extension. Like we are a business. We
We
cannot
have
watch
no
your children.
affiliation with you. Like, if you
Like I
can't watch
will
these
try to
children,
protect
I'll
your
kick
kids as
them
best
out.
as I can. You know, I want it to be a good environment. I want to protect them as much as I can when I can. But again, we are not babysitters. We are employees. We're getting paid to do a job. You know, so it's been frustrating, but I think like finally, like with a serious incident, unfortunately it took this to happen, but you know, the parents are finally doing something and getting involved with their children's lives. Except for I have one mom who's amazing.
Man, you just bringing down the whole vibe, ain't you?
Just cut that whole part out.
Every
We'll talk about something else.
time. Nah. You just every time you're like, this terrible thing has happened to me, and I'm like, I can't really laugh at any of this.
I told you guys 2023 sucked. Like I'm just
It's
like
whatever.
I was like,
there are good things that happen. There are funny things that happen. You're
yeah,
just
like
bringing that up.
good and
You know what you got to bring
happened.
up? I heard from a questionable source
Yeah.
that you had a fun experience with Spotify customer support this week.
Bro, they still haven't fucking helped me.
You
So guys, I have a playlist on Spotify that I use for games. It's called Gamer Girl Vibes. Follow a lot of other playlists with the same name. Nothing inappropriate about that name, you know. And I have a lot of the word vibes in a lot of other playlists. They can get removed. So apparently the word gamer girl is a problem on Twitch or on fucking Spotify.
Not like short for gamer girl vibrators or nothing. Okay.
Yeah. So I changed my playlist title to Witch Gaming. It's a dumb name, not as cool as Gamer Girl Vibes. I changed it to Witch Gaming, and
it's not as cool.
I changed the other day when I got it banned twice. I changed it to the second time. I changed it to Gamer Girl Vibes, like grew from thing. I put girl to see it was the word girl.
Gorl? Like GOOR.
GORL.
ORL? Gorl.
So I was like, that they still fucking removed it. So first of all, trying to find support on Spotify's website sucks. Like I know that like a lot of questions can be answered by the community forum thing, but like there's no like easy link to just message support. So I finally find the support link to message chat with someone, and we chat for like an hour, and then she goes, "Oh, I can't help you. That's not in my job description. It's their department. You'll just have to message back the email you got." And I was like, "Cool."
See, also,
support is useless.
You're talking to an actual person about this, and I think this is funny because the week prior, you and I were driving out to my parents, and you were on the phone with customer support for, I think it was your bank, but it was just a robot, one of those like automated, like, can you say that what your problem is? And then they don't hear you correctly. Anyway, You were on the phone with them
Well,
for
wait, hold on.
no. You
Can
were
I?
on the phone with the robot for maybe like 3 minutes, and you were so irate that the robot could not connect you to a human to solve your problem. And then the following week, you're like, I talked to a human for an hour and they couldn't solve my problem. And I'm like, man, I think it's just you and customer
No, so
service that
first of
has an
all,
issue.
with my bank's phone number, what pisses me off about my bank is you call them and the options they give you are to check your checking account, your savings account, or other account options. It doesn't let you go to support. It's supposed to be the direct support number. It just gives you options to check your balance. And if you say anything other than like checking account, savings account, like that, it doesn't. It's like, I'm sorry, say that again. I'm sorry, say that
Right,
again.
because
Very
you're getting
frustrating.
mad that the robot that has 3 responses programmed into it doesn't have just like the
I don't
AI
understand why the
intelligence to
support
understand
menu
what you
doesn't go to a
want.
menu that
It's
says, "Do you need to check with your account? Do you need support with a problem? Do you need like it should be like lit like that." Like I will say something about my job is that our customer service like hotline for like calling things in, repairing things, getting help with any barista issues or it is so easy. You call them, they say, "Do
you
you want to call about facilities? Do you want to call about technology or do you want to call about like an employee thing?"
right, because that's like your own like internal line. If you were an external customer trying to call Starbucks customer support, you would get the robot doing the same thing. And
No, you get a
you
person.
don't understand. I just don't know why you don't understand that the robot has 3 responses that it's looking for. And then you say some fifth thing out of left field and then get pissed off that the robot doesn't know what you want.
Because the
Like it
responses
doesn't
are
make
not
any sense.
useful.
That's
They're
fine,
not
but you need to
support.
tell that to someone
And
else, not the
well, no,
robot. The
because
robot
when
can't
it's
understand.
supposed to be when you press 0 on your phone, or if you say speak to a person, 99% of those automated services will transfer you to an actual human being.
You can say that all you want, but like you can't get
Whatever.
mad
Let's
when
just
it
move on.
doesn't do that. Yeah.
What was upsetting me about Spotify was like that's supposed to be support for all of those functions. Like it said they did that sort of stuff on their support, but then she said she's
What
not
questions were
qualified to
you
do that.
asking? What were you asking her to like unban your playlist? Like what were
No,
you asking her to
I
do?
looked it up first. I looked up about like Spotify deleting my playlist and found a huge thing about mostly about like other creators like reporting playlists because they don't want it to be more popular than theirs or Spotify's robot incorrectly banning you. And then it said you have to talk to support. And I was like, okay, how do I talk to support? Had to figure that
So
out.
like right, I understand that you called support. Okay, I got that part. What was your goal here? Were you trying to get them to unban it? Were you trying to get like the reason why it was banned? What were you trying to do?
So I was trying to get them to unban that because it said it violated community guidelines. Didn't say which specific one, so I was trying to figure out how it violated it. Still don't fucking know. And at the end, she was just like, "Oh, you just have to respond to the email they sent you."
Okay, so what questions did you ask that took an hour? Because I feel like this should have been like a 5 minute conversation. Like, hey, it was banned.
No, it took an
Why was it banned?
hour because she kept going, "Give me one moment. I'm going to look that up." I don't remember all the questions I
She
asked her. It was a long
doesn't.
conversation.
If she looked it up the first time and said, "I can't find why that was banned," you should have asked to be transferred to her supervisor. Because that's I
Yeah,
would
and
not have
the
stayed
most
on the phone
frustrating
with
thing
her
is
for an
like a
hour.
text chat. Like it's not even like
Oh, it
on
was a
the phone. It's like a
oh well,
text
then
chat.
that's
So
yeah.
I'm just sitting there watching this chat, waiting for her to give me any information, and then it was like not like. And I like
Why
I
were
said,
you not doing other things? It's a text
I was
chat.
getting
Go
ready
do
for
other
work.
stuff. Yeah. Yeah. So it's not
So
like
they
you
still haven't
wasted
fucking
an
helped me is
hour.
the
You
thing
were
though.
still
Like,
working. You were still getting ready.
so I responded to the email, still no fucking response. And I've noticed a lot of the other podcasts or a lot of the other playlists I followed like that got their names removed too. So apparently
Yeah.
you're not allowed to be a gamer girl on
I think
Spotify.
I think you just have
Girls don't play
strange
video games. It's
issues. They
illegal.
don't. I just think you just have strange issues with customer support. Like I've never had an issue with customer support other than calling Southwest where they just put me on hold for 3 hours and then hung up. Like, but
And I think well the thing is I think my bank also changed their customer support. So like it used to like I said, I used to just be like, "Can I speak to a human?" And it would say, "It sounds like you need to speak to a person. We'll get you transferred right away." And like it wasn't working last time and it really pissed me off.
I know, and you were just taking it out on me because I was in the car with you, and you're like, "Why isn't it fucking working? It's not this dumb robot." And I'm like, "Man,
Because
it's
I
a
wish
robot. I
sometimes
don't know
you
why
would
you're
just
getting
let
mad
me
at
sit and be angry for a second,
it."
because you get mad at like dumb shit all the time, and I'm just like, okay, cool, I'll let you be mad while you like calm down or
Right, but I
whatever.
don't get mad at the robot. I get mad at whoever programmed the robot. You're getting mad at the robot for doing its job. Like,
Well, I can't help what I get
that's
angry
like
about.
if someone walked into Starbucks and went, "I want a pizza," and you go, "We don't have pizza," and then they just got mad at you, and you just went, "Well, I don't have pizza," and they just kept getting
Well,
mad at you.
the
You
robot's
know,
gonna
like
doesn't give a shit if I get mad at it.
you have no way of giving them pizza, and you could tell them that you don't have pizza, but the guy's still mad at you.
Babe,
It's the
shut
same
up.
thing.
Just move on. I don't want to talk about it anymore.
You're getting upset again.
Yes, I am. Let's move on to something else.
You got to learn how to laugh at things. I think that's your issue.
I have a lot of
Welcome
issues,
to the
frankly,
therapy
and you
session.
know that I
And
have them, and they're not going anywhere anytime soon.
this
So
is just a podcast where I laugh. I got a funny story. I'll tell you a funny one. It's
I'm like sitting up in my
Where'd you
chair.
go? It sounds like you're far away.
I'm sitting up in my chair to refill my vape, and the noise my knee made it sound like a fart. So I was like, sorry.
Wait, did this story got you so upset you got to refill your vape. Anyway, okay. So you listen here because this is a funny story. So as you are aware, I sleep without a shirt on, right? And generally, when you sleep without a shirt on, when you wake up, you still don't have a shirt on. So when I get up to get ready for work in the morning, I just, don't have a shirt on. It's whatever. So I was going, I was getting ready. I was shaving, right? Mm-hmm. As I am a generally hairy person, I have lots of that. And I don't know what was going on, or I don't know exactly how it happened, but we got from, I was shaving, right? Mm-hmm. And holding this razor. And the next moment, I was not holding the razor. I don't know how I dropped it or what happened. But why are you going?
Because you have a history of cutting yourself when you're like cooking or doing literally. I don't understand. Like when we moved in together, we thought it was going to be me we'd have to worry about. We thought it would be me we were going to have to worry about. Like you're always don't cut things this way. Don't cut things that way. You're going to hurt yourself.
Yes,
but I will say I have not cut myself since we moved in. And you have cut yourself so many fucking times.
Listen, you do things dangerously to where if you did cut yourself, you would lose a finger. I do things where if I cut myself, I'm like, oh, I'll get a Band-Aid. All right. Like that's the difference. Like if you cut yourself the way you cut like carrots or anything, you would lose a finger. All right.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah,
no,
you
keep
don't.
Going with your story, but
whatever.
At the end of you cutting yourself.
Anyway, so so the razor is now in what scientists call free fall, right? Not attached to anything but gravity. And me being shirtless still at this point. So the razor is now falling. It hits me, falls into the sink. Razor's fine, impeccable, like great craftsmanship, quality work, well done, well designed. Me, on the other hand, not so well designed in that aspect as to survive being hit with razors and being unscathed about it, right? So at this point, it's like 6 a.m. I'm looking in the mirror and I'm like, that's an interesting shape. And there is just a portion of my chest hair that is gone. And it looks terrible. I should have taken a picture of it, but I didn't. And I was like, you know what? I got up early today. Guess this is how the morning's going. Shaved off all the chest hair because I was like, I don't know what to do at this point.
Oh my god, you need to send me a picture.
I was like, this is the only solution. It's gotta all go.
Yeah, no, literally, you need to send me a picture. I've literally never seen you without chest hair.
It was so funny, and I was like,
how have you not told me this already?
Because I was waiting for today when we were recording.
Send me a picture.
I also did not send you a picture deliberately.
Oh my god, send me a picture.
Oh man, so it was a heck of a morning where I was just like, I was just like, guess I gotta do this now. And oh yeah, it was a fun morning.
I just realized I haven't seen the cat in a minute.
Did you think she evaporated? What?
No, I have a candle on in the bathroom, and I want to make sure she doesn't fuck with it.
Yeah, you know her. She's practicing to be a fire eater, so better watch that.
She likes. I told you, like, I mean, she stays off the kitchen counter now, but when we first got her, like, I'd be like cooking, and she'd be like, she'd hop up on the counter that I had a knife on, and I would see that she was gonna hop on the counter, and I'd be like, no, and then I'd have to like shove her down so she doesn't get up on the knives and shit.
Are you moving back and forth, or is just my internet going out? Because
I think it's your
levels
internet.
are going up and down for me.
I think it's your internet because I'm talking like directly in front of the mic, and it's showing good on my side.
All right, keep going.
Hi, Chipmunk.
Well, I think keep going. See, I'm telling you, you're more dangerous with knives. You just have less accidents because you're so afraid of everything.
Well, you know, I still say that makes my track record much better than yours.
It does not. You cut yourself more than I do.
When
you were all bleeding and you're like, no cuts.
When did that happen?
Mm-hmm. It's usually bruises too. You get like bruised easy.
Yeah, he's moving on to bruises because he can't remember when I've cut myself. When's the last time you think I've cut myself?
I don't know, but we're out of Band-Aids and I only use like one.
Because you cut your.
No.
So many fucking Band-Aids.
This is what happens, all right? I cut myself. I put one Band-Aid on. I look and I'm like, oh, we got like a dozen left. Then I come back. Like, I don't know, a month later, I'm like, oh, I cut myself. I need a Band-Aid. And I look and you're like, oh, we've only got 3 left. And I'm like, where did they go? And you're like, I don't know. I'm like, what do you mean you don't know? Like, I didn't eat them.
Well,
where did they go?
I had to use a lot of the foot bandages when you hurt my foot on the bed.
Oh, so when you kicked a sharp object, huh? That's what happened? Mm-hmm. So you use them.
And then there was the time that you cut me with your toenail.
Yeah. No, I was standing still. You were moving. That's like you walking up and punching a wall and going, the wall hit me. Like, you did that.
Yeah, we were doing something, and like Jordan has the sharpest fucking toenails on planet Earth, apparently.
We told this on the podcast. You walked into me. I didn't kick anything. I was not moving. You walked into me.
But normally, I just have bruises or like burns from work.
Exactly. You hurt yourself more than I hurt myself. That's the moral of the story.
Sorry if you can hear the cat playing with her toy in the background.
That doesn't matter. Oh, man.
Have you seen any good movies lately?
Yeah, no.
So I want to talk about that movie I watched last night that I told you about. It was like a good cheesy shark movie. So I watched Maneater on Hulu yesterday, and I was like texting Jordan the whole time because the first thing I skipped the intro. I don't know why all shark movies do this, but like, do you watch a lot of shark movies, Jordan? Like, have you seen like?
Oh yeah, I'm a connoisseur
of and all that.
Sharks.
I love shark movies. I love them. Like, I really like the Meg. Obviously Jaws is is a classic, but so I was like, yeah, I'll watch this movie. I didn't think it was gonna be very good, but I watched it. I will say the acting, good. The acting is good. Like all the characters, not bad actors. The filming, just okay. Like the underwater shots of the shark were really bad. CGI, also really bad. Like there's a part where like they're fishing like this dead body, or looking at this dead body in the water. And it just looks like...
Did they film an actual shark in water?
I don't know. Maybe they did, because it's like grainy, shitty film.
Okay, now I can hear her playing with the toy.
Yeah. So it's like grainy, shitty film. It could be, frankly. It could be like some old shark video or something. And then when it does show you the shark, it's supposed to be like a great white, like a giant great white, like massively big, that's just attacking people because it likes to kill, And when they show it in the water, it's CGI, of course. So it looks a little cheesy, but it's like this giant fin, and the water is real, but it just doesn't look very good. But the plot's good. The plot's okay. I would say like all the main characters are like used, like almost everybody dies. If you haven't seen it, spoilers, but it's a shark film. Like, what do you think is going to happen? But like almost everybody dies, but it just feels like everybody dies really quickly. Like nobody had even realized there was a shark there, and like almost everybody's dead yet, And then I thought like there's gonna be a little mini plot where like the captain, it's like the captain of this boat and his wife are taking all these people out on like a party tour thing. The main character, she's just been separated from her fiance, whatever. So all of her and her friends all go on this trip, and they rent this party boat or whatever, and the party boat takes them to a private island. But they have like the captain like flirting with this recently, single lady, and then he just like dies like instantly, like after they flirt, and you're like, oh, okay. And then everybody dies really quickly from that. But the best part of the movie, hands down, is Shark Hunter Dad. I think his name's like Carlin. In the beginning, it's like showing how the shark got started. His daughter was a surfer. She goes out to surf and gets absolutely wrecked by the shark. Like they find her body in pieces on the shore. And so then it shows him like going to the police, like, what are you going to do about the shark that attacked my daughter? And they're like, we don't care. Tourism. It's basically Jaws, but like new.
They said Jaws. We don't care tourism.
Yeah, basically. So he's like, okay.
They're coming here to see dead bodies. All right.
He's like, okay, if you're not going to do shit to figure out, kill the shark that killed my daughter, I'm going to go out there with a shotgun and a harpoon and do it myself. And they're like, that's illegal.
All right.
And he's like, I don't care if it's illegal. This shark is killing people. And so he does kill a shark with a shotgun, by the way. It's very cheesy ending CGI. I thought it would be perfect in a video game, frankly. Like, I was like, how has nobody made like a Shark Hunter video game? Like, I don't know. There's
a video game called Maneater.
Well, I don't like Maneater. I don't like the controls.
It's the same thing. The controls are so easy. What are you talking about?
Like an RPG FPS, like first person shooter where you have to track and attack sharks.
Okay. Track sharks. That's what you want.
But only bad
boring
sharks.
That would be. You know how like slow that would be. Sharks don't attack anybody.
But I was thinking like Resident
Sharks kill
Evil-esque.
12 people per year. You're gonna hunt down 12 sharks in a year. You're gonna hunt down one shark and then wait a month and go back out again.
Finish. So Shark Hunter Dad was great, but I told Jordan I was watching it and I was really confused for a long time because his hair was switching between like super long and then like a short cut. And sometimes he had a hat on and sometimes he didn't. And sometimes his hair was short with or without it, So I was like, okay, what's happening here? And finally, like towards the very end of the movie, they film the shot from the side when he's got long hair and when you think he has short hair, and you can see that they like braided it into like the strings on his hat and tied it back in a way that looks like he has no hair. Cause it's not really a mullet, but it was like short around his ears and stuff.
Was that an Xbox notification I just heard?
Call of Duty's ready. And it's installing all the vault packs and stuff now because I guess
go for it.
Stuff. So now but it's installing them super fast, so it just keeps beeping.
Yeah, I just heard it in the background. I was like, wait a minute.
Oh, I have Spotify open and I press spacebar and it started playing music. But yeah, so he wrecks this shark shit, right? Like at the end, he and the last girl alive team up on this island to kill the shark. And I don't know how many shells can a shotgun hold, because I really thought he was gonna run out and get eaten by this shark. But he shoots this shark with a shotgun like 10, 15, 20 times. I don't know. I wasn't really counting, but it was like an excessive amount of shots. And I was like, can a shotgun hold that many shells?
I mean, it's usually like 8 max if it's just like a regular shotgun.
Yeah, no, he shoots it like 10, 15 times at least. Like, and then finally, like, he shoots it right through like the top of his mouth, and the shark falls into the water. And he and the girl survive, and they go get pancakes in honor of his daughter. But the ending scene was the best scene because the Shark Hunter Dad is definitely the main character. Like he got the most screen time. Like he is the character who was the coolest. But the sheriff brings this man to see him at his house, and he's like, "Oh, this man the shark has been killing tourists in his resort." And he's like, "Okay, and like, why is that my problem?" And he's like, "Well, I heard about what you did with the shotgun, and I'd really like your help." And he basically just becomes a fucking shark murder hunter. Like, it was really cheesy and stupid.
He's like, I killed one, I'll kill again.
Yeah, and he was basically like that kind of gruff guy, like, my daughter got murdered by a shark and I'm gonna take it down. He kept calling it a fish. That was my favorite part of the whole film. He kept pointing out to the water. He'd be like, that fish out there killed my daughter and I will kill it. Like, he kept calling it a fish. I thought it was so great. And then I told you there was one part I thought was so funny. Like, this man gets attacked by a shark. Like the shark is like eats half of his body, and the girl that's the main character in the friend group, she's like pre-med and she's trying to help like him. He goes, I think my leg is broken. And then the camera pans down and his leg is just gone and gushing blood. And I don't know why, but it was so
Close.
funny. And the girl is just like, oh, don't worry, I'm gonna help you. Honey, I mean, he had a belt and she like made a tourniquet, but I was like, that one, that's like halfway up his thigh. Like he's gonna die. Like there's no way to prevent that from bleeding out at this point. Like he got attacked by a shark and there's no help coming. Like he did, but it was funny.
If you put the tourniquet on, you'll be fine. That's
He did end up dying. Yeah.
well, okay.
It was very cheesy, but I liked it. Love shark movies. I would say The Meg was better if you've seen The Meg. Love that much.
No,
better.
I don't watch.
I love shark movies.
Like, I don't know why.
The Meg is really good because it was big budget, so like the shark CGI was great. But I also feel like to make a shark movie really good, like the shark has to be a little mysterious. You know, like you don't always show the shark.
No one knows what a shark looks like.
Well, no, but like in these movies where they're like, oh, like The Meg, for example, like it's a megalodon, it's a giant ancient shark. That's gonna look like it's not gonna look quite right in certain scenes. It's like an Alien where they hide the alien, like there's a mystery, it's killing people, but you don't get to see it. It's fast and sleek and dangerous. And like the shark movies are kind of the same way. It's like it's in water, it's so quick, you can't do anything, you know. But they kept showing the shark in these cheesy, grainy underwater scenes where I was like, okay, that's like a normal. I think you're right. I think they definitely use shark video because I was like, that's like a normal shark, and then the CGI giant shark. So
usually
TLDR, watch shark movies.
Do not. Those are ridiculous.
I love shark movies.
I could tell, but this is the first time you ever brought it up to me.
Like I was obsessed with Deep Blue Sea when I was a kid. Samuel Jackson just dies in movies.
I don't know what you're on about though, because you're like, oh, I'm afraid of water and like the open water and stuff, and then you're like, but these movies about it. I
would never want to go out in open water, but I love watching disaster movies.
You were like, have you watched this movie? It's about a cruise ship that tips over in the middle of the ocean, and I'm like, no. You're like, yeah, a lot of people drown. I'm like, cool. Do you want to go on a cruise with me? And you're like, no. I'm like, all right, cool, thanks.
Hey, the reason I want to go on I don't really want to go on a cruise is not because of that. Like, I'm fine with being on a cruise ship. I just feel really guilty because of, like, cruise ships are like some of the worst polluters of the world.
Yeah, but they have good buffets, so it equals out. I mean, really.
I wish I could like live like normal people. Like,
yeah, on a cruise ship 24/7.
Like everything I do, I just measure it against this like filter of like, am I allowed to do this? Is it good enough? Like,
am I allowed to do it? It's just funny because like we'll be in the middle of doing something. Like, is it okay that we're doing this? I'm like, we're already doing it. Like, what are you on about? And it's just like us driving somewhere. Like, it's not even like it's not like I'm spilling oil into a river. Like, you're like,
anxiety,
how can we do this? And I'm like, how can we drive somewhere for the weekend? I don't know.
Well, what else you got to talk about?
I have a question for you.
I have an answer for you.
What starts with W and ends with T?
It's not really a question. That's like a statement.
No, there's a question mark on it.
Oh, well, you said it like a statement. And the word what ends with W and ends with T, so...
It doesn't end with W. I don't know what you're on about anymore.
It starts with W, ends with T.
Are you insane?
Am I wrong? Did I mishear?
Yeah.
I thought you were trying to make a joke. Because, like, what starts with W and ends in T?
That's correct. What does start with W? Thank you for coming back around.
You said it didn't sound like a question mark at the end. So I was like, yeah, that's correct.
It's hard to do jokes with you. Because like if I say it too quick, you're like, I don't understand English now for the first time in my life. And if I say it too slow, you're like, that is a good statement. Yes, very funny. And I'm like, all right, cool.
Thanks. Kid with autism.
Thanks for playing along. I really appreciate it.
I genuinely think I'm autistic. For a while, I was like, maybe I'm just traumatized. But I took the RADSAR autism test online, and I scored really high.
That's good.
So. No, it's not.
You're supposed to score high on tests. That's how you're measured. That's how your worth is determined, really.
Even M yesterday, M and Abby, some of my friends are diagnosed autism, and every time sometimes I say something and they go, "Girl, you are autistic," and I'm like, "You would know."
Well,
But
I'm
yeah,
glad you're
sorry
all
I ruined your
sticking
jokes.
together in this.
But yeah, I don't mean to ruin your jokes.
No, you do. It's fine. I know you do it on purpose.
It's
it's
worse
okay.
at work because like people will say something to me, like a lot of my employees will make like a sarcastic joke to me, and then I'm just like I look a little upset and I'm like, oh, like I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, like I didn't, and then they're like, no, 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 I'm joking, and I'm like, oh, like, oh, that is funny. Like, but it always takes me a fucking minute.
What a time. Man, I want donuts. I really want donuts.
I had donuts on Friday.
What? You don't even like donuts. Why are you getting donuts without me?
I got them for the team.
Did you eat some?
Yeah.
Well, see,
I ate
got them
2
like
kolaches and then I ate 1 donut.
My God. Just rub it in. It's fine. Kick me while I'm down.
You
Whatever.
ate a whole 6. You ate an entire box of donuts without me. So
okay, but how long have we been looking for a donut place? And I was like, hey, there's one right across the street from your work. And you're like, yeah, I know. I've been there several times and never mentioned it to you. Yeah. Okay. So you can.
I haven't been there, but my team has gotten a lot of donuts. No, even on Friday, I sent Natty over to get some. I sent one of my supervisors over.
You can leave if you believe that you'd be like, well, I've only eaten them every once in a while. I didn't think that you would like donuts. All right, whatever. So yeah, when I was up there, I went and grabbed 6 donuts, and you got none of them.
Have you tried their blueberry donut?
I did. I tried a blueberry one.
It tastes like
like a kolache was in there, something like that, and then a couple other ones.
Yeah, I like that place though. I think
it tastes like what?
Definitely. It tastes like Fruity Pebbles. It tasted like Fruity Pebbles to me.
They also have a Fruity Pebbles donut, which I did eat. That was good too.
Oh, I didn't try that one. Like I said, I just sent Natty over, so he just got like a random selection of donuts and then some kolaches. I was like, $30 budget, have fun.
$30? Shoot, I'll go over right now. Give me a second.
Well, it was for my whole team, so
that's like what I spent. Like I spent $12 on myself when I was in there. I don't know what you're on about.
Yeah, well, you really like donuts. I had, like I said, 1 donut on Friday, and then I had 1 donut yesterday because we still had a few left. So I had the blueberry donut yesterday.
It is about that time. You got any other stories or things happening going on this week, next week, and past week in your life anywhere?
No, hopefully better things happen this week.
Oh, you got nothing going on. I see how it is.
Hungry.
Yeah, I guess you'll just go have donuts without me. Whatever.
I got some leftovers I'm going to eat, and then we're making cake pops and stuff in a little bit with the kids and my sister.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, that's going to do it for us this week. I hope you enjoyed or didn't enjoy. Either way, thanks for listening or not listening. Even
if you didn't like it, you've already listened to this. You can't take it back now.
Yeah, unless you skip to the end, in which case go back to the beginning, listen to the whole thing, then get to this part again. It'll make sense. We appreciate everybody who listens along with us. And what's up? What?
Sorry, the cat she's sitting in my lap in like a little circle in my lap, and all of a sudden, and she's just doing that thing where she's grabbing my arm and attacking me. So I was like, okay.
Why you always got to interrupt me when I'm doing the outro? I don't interrupt your intro, do I? Okay, no. Every time you're just like, hey, there's random things happening right now. I gotta have him right now. You can't talk about anything else right now. I got to do this.
I'm sorry, I got attacked by a cat.
You didn't get attacked by nothing. She holds onto your arm and you exaggerate about everything.
No, she bunny kicks and like bites. And then I looked it up, and apparently it's like a form of like aggressive play, but it said you shouldn't let your cat do it. So every time she started doing it, I've been stopping her.
Well, yeah, but you still talk about it and get all dramatic about it every time.
I'm dramatic every day of my life, Jordan. Get used to it.
Yeah, whatever.
All right, that's the show. And then Jordan's doing his outro.
That's the show. Oh, yeah, just mine.
And I won't interrupt this time.
You get to do your own later in like an hour or something like that. You know what I'm about. But thanks for listening. We'll be back next week. Have a wonderful day, evening, night, whatever you are. If you don't speak English, have a good one of those too. I don't know how you listen, but...
Buenas noches.
Okay. See? She's always jumping in, right? She's got to have the last word. I'm just kidding. That's going to do it for us.
You interrupt me all the time.
Next week. Okay, bye.
Follow us on Twitch and everywhere else. And listen to our podcast on all the things. And hey, you didn't say the thing about sending us a message this time.
What? No, because you just kept going on. I thought you would say it. Go ahead.
So you can leave us messages on Alitu. You can like click the little, or on our website.
Nope, you messed it up. Try again. Start again.
You can leave us voice
Ruined it.
messages on our website at mindlessprattle.com. And if you have stories you want to share or things you want us to talk about, let us know there. If you hate us or love us, you can also scream at us in that voice message if you want. It's not very kind, but you could do it. You can follow me on Twitch and Twitter, and Jordan on Twitch and Twitter. He does not Twitch a lot, but he is occasionally on Twitter.
You could just stop promoting me on Twitch. It's not happening anytime soon. I told this to you last week too. It's not happening anytime soon. I don't know.
I'm
why
just trying to figure out what to say. It's like all the words disappear from my head. But most importantly, follow the podcast on Spotify, iHeartRadio, or wherever you listen to your podcast, and on Twitter, where I occasionally tweet some semi-entertaining things.
All right, that's gonna do it for us. Bye.